This is Sarah with Posh Pooch Designs, and this video is a special request. I wrote a pattern called Anne's Pink Ribbon Chemo Beanie. It was written for my mother before she passed away when she was going through chemo. This is the pattern. It's a very simple double crochet pattern with a couple of cross stitch rows and a really pretty flower. Now this one is made out of Simply Soft. Some other good choices is the I Love This Cotton from Hobby Lobby. Also the Hobby Lobby Secret Soft is a good choice. Also the Red Heart Soft is a really good choice. I would not recommend your basic worsted weight number 4 yarns because it can be a little scratchy, and when they lose their hair quickly, their head can become a little bit raw or sore, and you don't want anything scratchy on their head. And the Red Heart Soft and the Simply Soft are really perfect for this hat. Now they're still a worsted weight number 4, and that's what we're going to be using today. I'm going to use this gray, and I'm going to be using this pink, and this is a soft kind of a rose pink, and we're going to be using our H hook, which is a 5mm. You'll also need a needle and your scissors and some sort of a button if you want to. On the front here, I added a little button. You can see the little button on there. I made this with polymer clay and then used a ribbon press to make a little ribbon. But you can use any button that you want. And this pattern is a 1 size. It fits a head about 18 to 20 inches. And the way to size it, if you need to, is measure as you go for the crown, and then once we get here we don't increase anymore because we're doing our cross stitches. It's always important to measure as you go, but the truth is this is just really a basic double crochet pattern, so you can adjust it the same way you would any double crochet hat pattern. All right, go ahead and gather up your supplies and we'll get started. Now this is a free pattern on my blog, and I'll put that blog link in the notes down underneath the video. We're going to begin with the crown of the hat and work our way up with increased rows. And then we'll change colors and do the cross stitch back and forth on this hat. You're going to really like this hat. It's really simple. We're going to begin first with chaining 5, so I'm making my slip knot. And my gray, of course, is the main part of my hat, and I'm going to chain 5. Now we're going to place 11 double crochets in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go in that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, go through the second 2 loops. That's a double crochet. So now we're going to place 10 more. The chain 3 at the beginning counted as our first double crochet, and we want a total of 12 double crochets for this first row. So we're placing 12 double crochets in the 4th chain from the hook. All right, let me count. Here's our chain 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now we have 12 total double crochets. We're going to join to the top of that chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. So that's the top of our hat. Now we're going to place 1 double crochet in the same stitch as that chain 3, and then we're going to place 2 double crochets in every double crochet around, and that's going to give us a total of 24 double crochets. So I'm placing 2 double crochets in each double crochet for a total of 24 double crochets. So I stitched a total of 24 double crochets. I'm going to join to the top of this chain 3 and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now for this next row, we're going to place 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. So there's 1, 2. Then we're just going to place 1 double crochet in the next. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. There's 1, 2, and then 1 double crochet in the next. So we'll be doing 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 double crochets all the way around our circle, and we'll have a total of 36 double crochets. So there's 2 double crochets, and now I'm going to place 1 double crochet in the next, all the way around our hat. 1, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and 1 double crochet in the next, all the way around, and then we'll join again to our chain 3. So we've completed our first 3 rows. Now for our 4th row, we join to the top of our chain 3 again, and we're going to chain 3. We're going to place 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then we'll place 2 double crochets in the next stitch. And the way the pattern on this row will go is 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Whoops, get in there. That one must have been a little bit snug. There we go. And then 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. So we'll have a total of 48 stitches. So we'll do 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, then 2. 1, 1, 2, all the way around for this row. So 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and 2 double crochets in the next. 1, 1, and 2. One double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, all the way around our hat, and then we'll join again to the top of our chain 3. So we've completed 4 rows. We join to the top of the chain 3 and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we're on row 5, and the way we do row 5 is we place 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets in the first stitch, and then we place 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So the way this pattern will work on row 5 is we'll do 2 double crochets together, and then we'll do 1, 2, 3 individual double crochets. So here's 2 double crochets together, 1, 2, and then we'll do 1, 2, 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches. 2 double crochets in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And on this row, we're going to have a total of 57 double crochets. This is where it's important to measure as you go, because if you think that this is going to be too wide or too small, you can adjust here by not increasing anymore. 1, 2 together, 1, 2, 3. Now, like I said, this hat fits about an 18 to 20 inch head, and I always say about because everyone has a different gauge. Everyone stitches differently, and I have been known to be a looser stitcher, and my daughter actually is a tight stitcher, so it just depends on how you crochet, and that's why it's really important to measure as you go. It's very frustrating to get a project done and not have it fit. All right, so we're going to complete this row around stitching 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Repeat that all the way around, and then we'll join to the top of our chain 3 again. So we finished that row. That was row 5. We joined to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch, and we're going to chain 3 again. And this row is pretty much like the last one. The only difference is we'll start with 2 double crochets in the same stitch, and then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's the way this row will go, and this is our last increase row. So you're going to stitch 2 double crochets together, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 individual double crochets. So 2 double crochets in this next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. And that's the way this row, row 6, will go. And this is our last increase row. We won't be increasing anymore after this. That's why I said if you feel like the hat's going to be too big, don't do any more increase rows. If you feel like it's going to be too small, you can do an additional increase row if you need it. Now, one other thing I wanted to point out is this hole. Don't panic about this hole. We will take care of that when we finish the hat. I will show you how to weave in that end and close that hole. All right, so let's go back to 2 double crochets together. 1, 2, and then 1 double crochet in the next 4 double crochets. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around, and we'll join to the top of our chain 3 again. So we've completed the first 6 rows, and they're all increase rows. Now for row 7, we're just going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet. So we join to the top of the chain 3, and now we're going to chain 3, and then we're just going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, because we're all done increasing. And at the end of our row 6, you should have a total of 72 stitches. And we will not be increasing anymore. Our stitches are going to remain the same at 72 for the remainder of the project. So we're placing 1 single crochet in each single crochet around our hat. And then our next row will be our first cross stitch row. So 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. So we've completed row 7, 1 double crochet in each double crochet, and now it's time to change colors and do our cross stitch row. Now don't cut your row. We're going to leave, don't cut your yarn. We're going to leave it attached and just draw it up the back, and that will make it so we don't have to weave in a whole bunch of ends, because we're going to be changing from our gray, where this one's beige, to pink, gray, pink. And so we would have to weave in all those ends, and we'll just let it trail up the back. All right, so we joined with our at the top of our chain 3, and we're going to bring in our new color. And we're using this pink, and we're making the cross stitches because I think they resemble pink ribbons. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, to make the cross stitch, to begin with, we're going to yarn over and we're going to go back behind where we started and do a double crochet. And this is because when we end, we're going to have a place to join our yarn, and we'll need to join it to this chain 3 when we get around the row. All right, so to make more cross stitches, we skip the next single crochet, or the next double crochet. We're not using singles, we're using doubles, and we double crochet in the next double crochet. And now there's a hole there where that stitch is. We're going to yarn over our hook, and we're going to go in that stitch that we just skipped and stitch a double crochet. There we go, and that's our first cross made. There we go, get that string out of the way. All right, let's do a few more. So we're going to skip this next double crochet and stitch in the next double crochet. And then here's our hole. Here's our stitch we skipped. Yarn over and stitch a double crochet in that double crochet that we just skipped. Okay, here's the next 2 stitches. We're going to skip the next stitch and stitch in this next double crochet. Then we're going to yarn over and stitch in that double crochet that we skipped. There we go. And you can see it gives us a little bit of a resemblance of those pink ribbons that represent breast cancer awareness. Whoops, dropped my hook. So we're going to do this all the way around our hat. Double crochet, go back and double crochet in the skipped stitch. We'll do this all the way around our hat, and then I'll show you how to join so that your cross stitches continue without having any little bumps or jumps in it. A nice smooth join, I guess I should say. So double crochet in the next, and then go back and double crochet in that stitch that we just skipped. And we'll do this all the way around our hat. So we've done our cross stitches all the way around our hat, and we're to the point where we want to join. And the way we join is, remember we did a chain 3 and then we crossed back and did a double crochet across. Where I want you to join is in the top of that chain 3. And if you join in the top of that chain 3, it makes your cross stitches go around smoothly. Now we're going to be changing to our other color, our color 1, and we're going to put our gray back in there, and we're going to leave our pink attached. Again, so we don't have to weave in extra pieces of yarn. We're going to chain 3, and we're going to place a double crochet in each stitch around. Now, double crocheting in the cross stitches can be a little confusing as to where you put your stitches. So the best thing to do is look on the top up here where there's like, looks like a braid. It's where the chain of the stitches are. And what you do is just go in each one of those. There's the first one, and stitch a double crochet. Just go through both those loops that are on the top and stitch a double crochet. And by doing it this way, you can follow that braid across the top and you won't skip a stitch by accident or add an extra stitch by accident. And also it'll help your cross stitches kind of pop out and be noticed. So place one double crochet in each stitch around your hat. And I'm already really liking this gray and pink together. Remember, just follow the braids on the top, stitching one double crochet in each stitch. So I completed the plain double crochet row underneath my row of cross stitches. And what we're going to do next is we're going to repeat the row of cross stitches, the row of solid double crochet, and a row of cross stitches, and then a row of double solid crochet, just like this hat. Because we're going to have 3 rows of the cross stitches with 1 row of double crochet in between for a total of 2 rows in there. So go ahead and do the repeat of what we've done here. We need another row of cross stitches, double crochet, and cross stitches. There's no increases, it's just the same amount of stitches, which is 72 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and show you again how to bring in your yarn and how to do the cross stitch, just in case you're a little confused or haven't got it figured out. Now in the back here, we're just pulling up our yarn and trailing it up inside, and then we'll weave those ends in when we're done, and this will make a much neater hat also. All right, so we changed back to our pink. Whoops. We're going to chain 3, and then again we're going to do that first double crochet in the stitch behind that chain 3 so that our cross stitches lay pretty when we join. And then again we're going to skip this next stitch and double crochet in the next stitch. Then double crochet in the stitch we just skipped. Skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. And then double crochet in the stitch that we just skipped. And like we did before, we'll go all the way around and we'll join in that chain 3. Then we'll stitch a row of double crochet, and then we'll repeat the cross stitch row and the double crochet row, alternating back and forth, so that you have 3 rows of your cross stitch rows with the double crochet in between. So we did the repeats, the cross stitch, the double crochet, cross stitch, double crochet, cross stitch, double crochet rows. Now, if you want your beanie to be longer, maybe like a slouchy, you can continue to repeat these if you want to. But for the regular size beanie that fits a regular size head, you just want to do the 3 repeats. Now, the last 3 rows, we need to do 2 more rows of just double crochet, and then we're going to do a row of single crochet in the pink color, and then I'll show you how to make this pretty little flower. So we're going to continue, but I wanted also to show you the inside of the hat where we carried the yarn, and it just looks like this, and it makes a much neater appearance than having to weave those in every time. And you can go ahead and leave your pink yarn because we're going to use it for the trim. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do 2 more rows of double crochet, 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. So we joined, we're chaining 3. There we go. And then we're going to do 2 more rows of just 1 double crochet in each double crochet. So I finished the 2 additional rows of double crochet and now I'm going to tie off my yarn. So I'm going to cut this yarn. I'm going to leave my pink one attached because I'm going to use it to trim the edge in a single crochet. So I'll just put that in and grab up this pink. I want to make sure that pink one's not drooping too much. Okay. So now we're just going to chain 1 because we're going to do a row of single crochet around the bottom of the hat just for a nice trim. Now I just did 1 row. If you want to do more rows of single crochet, you certainly can. And you can also add more rows here of double crochet if you want a longer hat. Just keep in mind that if you're giving this to a person who's going through chemo, that their lack of hair will make them need a smaller hat. So just in case you're not sure what a single crochet is, you put your hook through the stitch and you pull up a loop. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through both those loops. And we're just going to do 1 row of single crochet around the bottom of the hat. But like I said, if you want a bigger trim, you certainly can do as many rows as you would like. So we'll do 1 single crochet in each double crochet around, and then we'll join to the first single crochet and tie off. And then I'll show you, like I said, how to do the flower. And also, don't forget, we've got to close that hole up that's in the top of our hat. So we did our trim. 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets around, and like I said, if you want to do more rows, you certainly can. We're going to join to that first single crochet and tie off. Pull that loop up a little bit. I'm going to go behind and go in the next stitch, put that loop on my hook and pull that behind, and then tie off back here. And that just gives us a more finished look. And we're going to need to weave these ends in. Now, we're going to need our needle. We're going to turn our hat wrong side out. And we're going to close this hole. What we're going to do is we're going to thread that piece of yarn, the tail we started with, and we're going to close up this little hole. We'll do that just simply by stitching around those stitches and gathering it up, gently, around this way, pulling it in until it closes. Make a few more stitches. There we go. Make sure it's nice and snug. And then I'm going to go back the other way I came. And that's going to keep it from unraveling, because I do not want the top of my hat to open up. Okay, and then we can clip that. And then this over here is where we brought our stitches along. And we don't need to do anything with that, but we do need to weave in this end and these ends. And we'll do that with our needle. And I'll do that after a little bit. We do that the same way. We just stitch in and out so that it looks pretty. And I can tidy that up after a bit. And so here's our hat. Now this is perfect for any awareness ribbon, whether it's, you know, any of the cancers, any of the colors of ribbons, any of the awareness like thyroid. Just change your color of ribbons. And it will work for a man just like this, or a lady with this flower. And so now I'm going to show you how to make that flower real quick. It's really easy. We're going to use our pink yarn. We're going to chain 4. There's our slip knot. and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to place 10 double crochets in the third chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to place 10, actually 9, because the first 3 chains count as our first double crochet, and we want a total of 10 double crochets. There we go. And this is the center of our flower. And here's another area where we'll probably have a hole in the center, and we'll do the same thing with our beginning. Mine got caught. But we'll do the same thing. We will close it up, so don't worry. Mine's getting all tangled up. There we go. All right, let me see how many I've got here. Here's my chain 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to join to that, there it is, top of that chain 3. And then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to make petals. And the way we make petals is with triple crochets. To make a triple crochet, it can be a triple or a treble. They're called the same thing. You put 2 wraps over your hook, go in the stitch, and pull up a loop. You're going to have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, go through the third 2. And we're going to make 2 more of those in that same stitch. So there's chain 3 and 3 trebles, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go right in that same stitch we're working on and slip stitch. And then we'll go to the next double crochet and slip stitch, chain 3, and we'll do 3 treble crochets again. 2 wraps, go in our stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, go through the second 2, and go through the third 2. And we'll do that 3 times, or 2 more times, so we have a total of 3 triple or treble crochets. There we go. Chain 3. And again, we go right back in that same stitch and stitch a slip stitch. Then go to the next stitch and slip a slip stitch. And we'll do this all the way around the flower. Chain 3, 3 triple or treble crochets, chain 3, slip stitch. We'll do this all the way around the flower. Now, if you have a hole in the center of your flower, you'll do it exactly the same way. You'll thread this needle on your hook and close up that hole. Mine got a little tangled, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But that's the way you close the hole up, and you can do that after you get all your petals on. So let me show you how to do one more petal. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, and then we're going to do 3 treble crochets or triple crochets. One, 2, 3 chains, slip stitch in the same double crochet, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. And by doing all those, you'll end up with a flower that looks like this. And the reason we started with double crochets in the center instead of, say, single crochets is we wanted to have room to add to add a button. I almost said a flower. A button. All right, so let me cut off a piece of yarn from the other end, because we're going to need to sew that on. What I do is I sew the button onto the flower first, because I want to be able to attach my flower where it's not going to come off. So I'll come up behind. There's my tail, and I'll just hold on to it. Make sure my button is centered in the middle of my flower. There we go. I'll turn it over, and I will tie a couple of knots so that my button doesn't come loose. And you know, I always tie 3. When I'm dealing with things inside, I always tie 3 buttons. I'm going to get rid of that short tail, and then I'm going to use this long tail to sew it onto my hat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that my place where I stopped and started is in the back, so that the front is nice and pretty. And I'm going to put my flower right in the center of those 3 lines. And then I'm going to use this. I'm going to go in the hat, and I'm going to basically stitch around those outside stitches before we reach the petals. It's like the inside of the center, and I'm just going in and coming out just like this, going back and coming in. We want that flower to stay put. We don't want to lose it on a windy day or have it come undone. And just keep stitching around until you're happy with how your flower looks and you're comfortable that it's not going to come off. And then stitch to the inside. And then weave it in nice and tightly. Now, there are many organizations that you can give hats to for cancer patients. Some for children and some for adults. And this is a good hat for that particular thing because it is made with nice soft yarns and it's pretty. You know, one of the things that I remember my mom, she lost her hair, lost her eyebrows, lost her eyelashes, and even men, they kind of don't feel like they look as good as they used to. And if you can put on a nice hat, you know, put on a pretty hat, or a man puts on a stylish hat, you know, he's going to feel a little better. You know, losing your hair is a hard thing, whether you're a woman or a man, and having a nice hat to wear is a great, great thing. And it's a wonderful gift you can make for somebody else. There we go. So I wove it in, I weaved in those ends, and this is our, what I call my Ann's, because my mom's name was Ann, pink ribbon